I was 7 months postpartum. I gained a lot during pregnancy and really kind of couldn't get it together. I wanted to really learn to have a better relationship with food and, learn nutrition from a professional. I have a daughter now, and I want to set a better example when it comes to nutrition, for myself and for her, because I just was all over the map, and it just really caused me to be in a bad mental state. Biggest struggles that I've been experiencing that kind of made me decide to reach out is obviously, how I mentioned before, was a lot of pregnancy gain, but just a bad relationship with food from my past of doing bodybuilding shows and just being so restricted for so long. I just thought I always had to kind of go back to what I was doing during those, like that show prep to be able to lose weight again. And by that, I mean, I probably ate a handful of things, including chicken, fish, egg whites, and rice. And it just wasn't really realistic for me as a new mom. On top of that, before I would just do hours of cardio, I needed to learn to kind of rethink of, what nutrition is and, how to lose weight the maybe the right way, not of such a strict, crazy way. I actually worked with bodybuilding show coaches in the past. It was very strict diet plans. There was no variety, and hours of cardio, like I mentioned before, was the only thing that worked for me in the past. We never ate dinner together. I always had my own meals. Everything was pre-planned. It really caused me to have a bad relationship with food, and it really started to control me in a way. Everything was good and bad. I didn't really know the reasonings behind it. It was just so kind of calculated and structured to, that show that I was doing. There was just no freedom. For the most part, I as social butterfly as I am, I couldn't really do the things I wanted, or, when I did go out to eat with friends, I would pack my own meals, or, looking at a menu, I would just get so guilty feeling of like, well, I want this, but I can't have it. And like all where it stemmed from, or like having a family party to go to, it was terrifying. I developed this like binge eating for a while because I was so restricted that when I decided, hey, maybe these shows aren't the greatest for me, and then I actually ended up getting pregnant, I binged, like I just ate whatever I wanted. That's when I knew I needed to reach out. I needed something other than someone that focuses maybe on shows and bodybuilding and stuff like that, and really just focus on like the professional nutrition advice. Obviously a little bit skeptical, but that's just like how I am. But it's because I've worked with coaches in the past, and I just didn't want it to be the same thing as before. And maybe not like skeptical about you, but more about like, am I going to be able to have a breakthrough myself, or is this just kind of going to be the same thing with like a meal plan and telling me what to do? So overall, it's just been really eye-opening, kind of a new perspective. Ashley, you're like so knowledgeable, and you broke things down to me to the smallest forms, to understand like why each component matters, whether it's sleep, stress, food, moving your body the way that it feels good, which you repeat all the time, and then just overall self-awareness. You kind of understood like right away after we spoke that if I was going to make any type of changes, I really needed to start with like baby steps. It definitely wasn't any type of cookie cutter program, but it was like very specified to me. But I think kind of the first breakthrough for me was kind of logging my hunger and fullness levels, which I completely dismissed for so long, and just awareness about how different foods make me feel. And that was a lot of like the logging in the beginning. That was like the first time that like forced me to kind of rethink how I even approach food or meals or anything like that. Like I have variety now, kind of doing kind of like the 80-20, right? So I'm not maybe so inclined to, but it's more of like, is this going to make me feel good? But I just didn't feel that guilt afterwards either, which is just a huge breakthrough for me overall. You just kind of taught me, like, first of all, you have to do something that makes you feel good, right? And two, like, and have some variety, so maybe you don't get bored, but also like try some of this, right? And it just became so much more enjoyable, teaching me to like find time for it as well, where before it was like, oh, if I don't get it in, I would get kind of like really kind of down on myself. I missed it, I got to start over type thing. And really just like making that time for it, and planning that out, and making that a priority. And then obviously with all of that came just having more energy and just like feeling good to sweat again. And I love the competition that we did with the team. That was so motivating. I loved it. I feel like I have so much more control with food, which I felt literally completely out of control before. There's so much less guilt around food, so much kind of less pressure about getting in those like crazy long workouts, right? Just being like, okay, what's going to make me feel good today? I just feel so much more balanced. I've gained also just a way to kind of give myself some grace. Like I carried a baby, my hormones were off, from, pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding. I really like, I came out of it being like, I need to lose weight, but I realized that I needed to actually like get my health in order before I could like shed, like health in order, meaning like mentally and everything else, to really kind of get that weight to start moving. I think my hormones are definitely evening out. And the best part too is like, I no longer have a lactose intolerance. It's just huge. Teared up about it because I was like such a dark place. I was like that low, and like I didn't believe in myself at all at that point. Like I knew I was going to do that because I was in such a hamster wheel of doing it all the time. Trust the process. The little baby steps in the beginning are really key to really overall success, and really self-awareness, and really transitioning your brain to approach eating and nutrition and moving your body in a way that feels good. You really have to start like completely from little baby steps, in order to kind of really transform, and just trust the process.